Hi, this is Matt with AppliancePartsPros.com. Today we'll be showing you how to repair your appliance. Remember, anytime you work on an appliance, make sure it's unplugged or the circuit breakers are off so there's no chance of electrocution. Also make sure you turn off the dishwasher's water supply underneath the sink. In this video we're going to show you how to change out the GE Dishwasher Inner Door Liner. It's going to be a very easy repair and should only take a few minutes to show you how to do it. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can click on the link below or get it at AppliancePartsPros.com. When you open up the package, you're going to get the new Inner Door Liner. The Inner Door Liner is located on the inside of the dishwasher door. The main reason you'll be changing it out is if it's cracked or damaged. In order to get to the part, we're going to open up the dishwasher door, and then we can use our Phillips screwdriver to remove all the screws so we can take out the Inner Door Liner. Before we take the Inner Door Liner out, we're going to put a towel up on the countertop so we can work on the door liner without scratching the counter. With all the screws out of the door, we're going to carefully separate the inner liner from the outer door and lift it off. As you lift it up, you want to slowly let the door come up because without the weight of the inner panel, it's not going to stay open. Now that we have the inner door liner up on the countertop, we can take a look at it. The sound deadening material on ours, because the door is so old, we're not going to be able to take it off and put it on the new one. If yours is in the same condition where it's cracking, you're going to have to buy new ones and just stick them on to the new inner door liner in the same position they were on the old one. So we're not going to do anything with those, but we're going to show you how to take everything else off. In order to get the door lock off, we're going to have to release this little spring-loaded lever right here, and that allows you to lift the latch up to 12 o'clock. Once you have it at 12 o'clock, you can lift the latch out and set it aside. Now we can take off the vent. It's held in by a couple Phillips screws. Once you have the screws out, we're going to turn the door liner over, and then we can get under here with a small screwdriver and lift this vent out and set it aside. Now we can remove the rinse aid cap. All you have to do is unscrew it and pull it out and set it aside. And then we can remove the tank. It's held in by these four little tabs. So we're going to lift up on the door liner a little bit and squeeze them together and press down at the same time. Work your way around and hit each one. Once you have it pressed through, we're going to lift the door liner up again, and then we can remove the rinse aid tank and set that aside. With the rinse aid tank out of the way, we can remove the latch assembly and the soap cover and lever assembly. First thing we're going to do is take a small pliers and remove this little plastic rivet and set it aside. Then we can lift up on the door liner a little bit to make some space underneath it, and then we can squeeze this little locking tab together and push it down through the front of the door. Once you have that released, then you can lift up a little bit and pull the lever and the cap assembly off, and then we can lift the latch and the spring assembly out and set them aside. Now we're at the bottom of the inner door liner. We're going to take out the gasket and the centerpiece. All you have to do is pull these out of the channel. If yours are pretty dirty like this, you can either replace them or clean them up before we put them onto the new door liner. Once you have the centerpiece out, we're going to take each side piece off to the corner. Once you have both those off, then we're going to flip the inner door liner over and remove the gasket the rest of the way from the front. Once you have it flipped over, we can just follow the gasket all the way around the channel and pull it out all the way around the door. Once you have the door gasket out, you can pull it off and set it aside. Now that we have everything off the old inner door liner, we'll set it aside. Here's the old inner door liner next to the new one. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can get it at AppliancePartsPros.com. Now we can put the new inner door liner together. Remember, this is where you would put the sound deadening material, whether you're replacing it and using new or reusing your old. It's important that you put it in there because it both blocks the noise and it makes the door a little bit heavier so it stays open when you actually open the dishwasher door. First, we're going to put the door gasket back on. When you took it off, you may have noticed that there's a notch that goes right in the center of the door, right at 12 o'clock. And all you have to do is push the gasket into the channel all the way around the door. Once you have one side done all the way down to the corner, we can do the other side. Once you have both sides done, we can turn the inner door liner over and finish it up at the bottom. Once you have the gasket all the way around, then we can put the center gasket back in and push it into place. Now we can put the lever and the soap cover back on. We're going to carefully lift up the inner door liner and then push it up into position. When you put it through the door liner, you want to make sure it's in the open position, and then you can grab it from the back side. And we're going to have to set pliers down on the countertop, so when you set the inner door liner back down, it'll take up the space in between the countertop and the lever. Now we can put the latch back on. First, we're going to put the spring on. You want to make sure that it hooks right up here into its little slot and that it goes around the shaft hole. Then we're going to look at the lever shaft and see that it has a little tab on each side, just like the latch does. So once you have that lined up, we're going to push it down and lock it into place. Once you have it in place, we're going to put the little plastic rivet in there to hold it all together. Now we can grab the spring and put it in its spot. You want to make sure that this end stays in its little notch, and then we're going to grab the other end, and it has to be brought around on the back side of this little tab, but it also has to go underneath this little point right here. So you're going to have to turn this a little bit to get the spring underneath it. Once you have it under there, then we can flex it up with the screwdriver to get it behind the tab. Once you have it in place, you can press it down and then lift up on the door a little bit and make sure that it moves freely. Now we can put on the rinse aid tank. All you have to do is line up the opening with the 4 tabs that hold it in place and push it down so it locks in. Once you have it locked into place, you want to lift up on the door a little bit and make sure that this little rinse aid release arm is pushing up against this point and that the latch is resting against it. Now that we have it installed, we can lift up the door liner and put in the rinse aid cap. All you have to do is screw it in and tighten it down. Once you have it in place, we can put our vent back on. There's 3 tabs on the back side of it that have to go behind this little lip right here. So we're just going to set it in place and rotate it over. And once you have it in, you can kind of tap it. Then we can lay the inner door liner back on the table and put the screws in that hold that in place. We're going to use our Phillips screwdriver to put those screws back in. Now we can put the door latch back in, just like when we took it off. You want to make sure when you set it down, the latch is going up at 12 o'clock, so it gives you enough room to fit it in. Once you have it in there, you can press it down into place, and then we can push the latch over, and that'll hold it. Now it won't come out. With the inner door liner put back together, we're going to carefully open up the door. Remember, it's lighter without the inner door liner, so it's going to bounce back up. So make sure you hold it open, and then we can grab the inner door liner and set it into place and use the Phillips screwdriver to put the screws in. All right, once you have everything back in place, we can go around and put the screws in. Now that we have the inner door liner installed, we can close the dishwasher door, remove the towel, plug it back in, turn the water back on, and take it for a spin. Thanks for joining us for another successful repair brought to you by AppliancePartsPros.com. Check out our other repair videos on our site, Facebook, and YouTube.